we all know of, and some of us have participated in the glitz and glamour of the pageant industry, an industry that gives off an allure of prestige, confidence, femininity, woman upliftment, and claims to celebrate beauty with brains. Throughout my observation and experience within the pageantry industry, I have accumulated a plethora of questions, some of which being, why has no modest woman won? Why do almost all the winners have a particular look? Whose eyes are they the candy to? Is it truly a good confidence booster? What does Elohim say about our beauty? Are you enough? And why do they wear swimming costumes? So many questions, and today in this video we will be discussing the beauty pageant industry and its actual impact on womanhood. Hi and welcome to the Feminine Periodical. My name is Lupasha and thank you for joining me on today's episode. I also just want to say thank you so much for 20 subscribers. I'm so grateful that you found value here. Feel free to leave down below conversations that you would like to start, that you would like us to speak on and touch on, because the conversations and topics that we leave at the end of the table are always the ones that come out to bite us in where. But thank you so much, and we'll continue growing this beautiful family. Although pageants can be said to have been around during the 1700s, the first modern beauty contest was held by Phineas T. Barnum in New York City in the 1850s, called the Handsomest Ladies, of which the prize was dowry or a diamond tiara, this depending on your marital status. And through his later invention, the Book of Female Beauty, published in France, this was said to have pioneered a new model of commercial entertainment. Fast forward to 1954, the first telecast Miss America pageant aired, and you can only imagine. Okay, picture this. You are a 15-year-old girl and you thought you are somewhat pretty but aren't that pretty, because there's this one girl in your neighborhood who is so beautiful and everyone praises her for it. Now imagine you switch on the TV and now you see a contest about who's most beautiful, and suddenly you wonder if calling yourself pretty was you stretching it. Yeah, that's an analogy that I kind of thought would have happened to the teenagers back in the 50s when this pageant first came about on their TV screens. After this, beauty pageants became synonymous for what it actually meant to have a feminine identity. Whilst gathering research for this topic, I came across an interesting research, which is titled Entertaining a False Reality, a social comparison examination of beauty pageant participation and the effect on beauty, dissatisfaction, depression, and self-esteem by Angela Everhart. This study investigated the effect of beauty pageant participation on body, dissatisfaction, depression, and self-esteem among women. A group of 20 women who participated in reality show beauty pageants as adults was compared with another group of 20 women who had never participated in beauty pageants. Pageant participants scored higher on body dissatisfaction as well as self-esteem. Neither group had mean depression scores in the clinically significant range. These findings suggest that beauty pageant participation among young adult women may influence their body dissatisfaction and self-esteem, but may not have a significant effect on depression. This brings us to the impact on women's self-perception. The research further stated, okay, I'm finding it a little bit hard to say this name, so I'm just going to put it up on the screen and I'm going to try to say it as best I can. Weidman et al. In 1992 found that over time, Miss America pageant winners grew increasingly thinner as the national average for female weight increased. This caused body dissatisfaction among a group of average American women when the thin ideal was not obtained.
Classic Indian woman's figure is hourglass shaped, a big bust, not a very slim waist, but in comparison to the bust, quite designers. I've spoken to so many of them, and they say that a model should not have curves. A model should have a very prominent collarbone and shoulders. The rest should be just flat. It should be like a hanger.
62 and a half.
I have a problem. I mean, I'm a bit too flabby on my thighs, so I need to like run and do a lot of weights to even turn that fat into muscles. I do a lot of threading, but I don't touch my facial hair. I rather bleach it in once in 6 months. That's what I do, not too often.
A wealth of psychological and sociological literature addressing the phenomenon of media effects have shown that exposure to the thin ideal in the media can have negative and damaging effect for women. This was by Levine and Myrnen in 2002. This means young women are being conditioned to believe they will never be beautiful because the world's most beautiful woman looks nothing like her.
Oh, please, I'm already brown. You're trying to look fair and you're trying to make me dark. No way. I don't want to look black. Any darker and I'll be black.
And everybody says, when the child is born, oh, is he fair? Oh, is she fair? I just don't want a dusky child. I mean, the dusky child could be fabulous, but hey, we don't want it. I don't know why. Oh, gori hai, gori hai. Gori means, oh, she's fair. Madam ke jaisi. Madam means looks like a madam. So I think that's fantastic. And I say, goodness me. I said, this child has got fabulous features. Why don't you look at the features? She could be unbelievably beautiful. Why do you want a fair, fat child rather than have a slim, dark beauty? No, they'd rather have the fair, fat one any day.
Again, pose a question. Do they hold auditions for contestants to represent a state, province, or country under false pretenses of anyone can be chosen? Or do they pick their winner once they see a contestant that meets the beauty standards of the 1%, which they perpetuated to the rest of society to create insecurities that people forever waste their money trying to fix or stay hidden and never elevate in their lives? Is it a leading cause of divorces? Husbands expecting wives to look like an AI drawing? Why did they look at women and thought the best thing to measure success is for us to measure it by what you have no genotypical control over? What you have no control over. Why do we not rather have entrepreneurial contests? I thought beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Funny thing is, the economy of a country could be horrible, but they have the most beauty queen wins, which is sad on the part of the citizens of that country, because less emphasis and care goes towards them and more towards the outer look of the country rather than what happens within. This is like how some countries have the best tourist destinations, but where the rest of the citizens of the country live is subpar and quite unfavorable. And now, one of the most important questions I think you can ever ask yourself on this topic. What does God, our Elohim, our Father in heaven, our Creator, say about beauty? Well, in Genesis 1 verse 27, it says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image and likeness of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them." Again, in Psalms 139 verse 14, "I will confess and praise you, for you are fearful and wonderful, for the awful wonder of my birth. Wonderful are your works, that my inner self knows right well." I recommend that you read all of Psalm 139. It's very beautiful. And this is also from Songs of Solomon 4 verse 7. "Oh my love, how beautiful you are. There is no flaw in you." This means you are perfect from head to toe. And in Proverbs 31 verse 30, which I hope you've read before, "Charm and grace are deceptive, and beauty is vain. But a woman who reverently and worshipfully fears the Lord shall be praised. And one thing about our Elohim, Psalm Isaiah 40 verse 8, the grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever, which means all that I have just read stands forever and is true. If the creator of our world, of heaven and earth, says we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that too in his own image, who are we to dispute? Girl, you are gorgeous, lovely, beautiful, a sight to behold. Now, I am in no way advocating that you neglect taking care of yourself, because that would be unfair of me. Rather, I would advise that you care for how you present yourself. Dress well, smell great, and show up well, because you love things that are clean, right? So stay clean too. And finally, have you ever seen different species of birds? Like, they are impeccable. They are so impeccable, so gorgeous, and they have never been under the knife. They've never gone under the knife. So just know that you too have that same beauty. That same beauty exists within you. It exists outside of you. Harness it with our Father. He will grow you to be such an amazing beauty. This video has not gone into depth, of which I would love to do on a later video, sort of like a part 2, but I don't know, a part 2 but with a different heading, talking and touching more on its effect on body dysmorphia for young women and young ladies in society, and women in general in society, and how it affects women when you show up, where people, because this is basically like synonymous for femininity, when you go into workplace or wherever you present yourself in, they judge you more on how you look on the outside, judge you more on whether or not your features are symmetrical, whether or not your hair is long flowing, and not celebrating our different types of textures that we have in our hair. I hope to touch more on this in another video, and I just pray that you've been blessed by this video. Please do leave a comment down below and tell me what you think on what I've brought forward. And yeah, about all the questions, if you can answer a few of them, because they were not rhetorical. Some of them were, but not all of them. So see you on the next video. I have been Lupasha. Bye.